I'm Yashar'al. I'm known as Miss Yishi, and this is my journey along with my brother Mashal. He's also my shepherd. We are going on a fast food elimination diet. We are just eating raw and we are juicing, and we just want to show you how we are starting. And right now, this is what's on our plate. Well, on our plate, we're actually on our table. There's a carrots. We have limes. This right here is turnip greens. And that's Michelle. He is actually in the too, saying hi. He's actually a great. It's always great to have support when you're doing this because it's so easy to fall back. And he has really been a great support, helping me in to do what I need to do, which is really great. I'm gonna try to get this a little bit clearer. Let's see what's going on here. Anyways, and these are let's see here. We have. Hmm, there we go. Okay. We have cucumbers. We have seasoning. And I'll tell you about the seasonings in a minute. We have greens. We have, these are scallions, lettuce, tomatoes. Need something sweet every now and then. I know some folks like to go plain green and just plain raw. I prefer to have a little bit of sweets every now and then, which is also the reason why I have bought the um, uh, pears over there. I have beets. Beets are very good from what I understand. They have um, things in it that help with blood pressure. And where I have high blood pressure, I want that to go down. I want it to go down naturally. We have right here, these are collard greens, red cabbage, not green, but it's red, but it's still good. And I have another head of lettuce, celery, and broccoli. And we have over there three, four watermelons, and they're organic with seeds in it. Seeds are important, okay? The reason why we're doing this, we have recently seen a documentary that said, I was telling us about how there were diabetics who had gotten healed in 30 days coming off of their medications. The reason why I want to do it is because I have, as you can see, my foot's a little bit better today working, but I have what's known as gout, swelling of the foot. In my the ankles, which is caused by uric acid. Sorry, my toes are a little crusty. Sorry about that. Got a little crusty in food. Um, in the and I also was on Dr. McCullough's site, and I had seen a gentleman. It's called I think fat. See, what's it? Fat and Nearly Dead. Something fat and nearly dead. It's a documentary about another gentleman who had an autoimmune disease where if you touched his skin, if you touched him like that, it felt like he was getting stung by bees. That's overactive autoimmune system. Mine, I happen to be a hypothyroid, and the thyroid with me caused me to have anxiety. I have rapid heartbeat, sometimes rapid breath. Um, my hair's getting thinned out, and I want to heal. That's the reason why I'm doing it. Plus, I also come from a family of diabetics, um, and I also a family of people who have had double mastectomies and cancer, and I truly believe that everything can be healed with diet. And the reason why I believe that, because one day I had asked the father, why here in America do so many African Americans or blacks, that I could call myself black, I'm Hebrew, I'm a Yashar'alite, is coming down with more diseases than any other race. And he said that the reason why, because under Christianity, many of my people under Christianity have rejected the law as if it had I had somehow dismissed it. I have never. This is my own words, of course. I'm putting it into. I never got rid of the law. The law still stands, and my dietary law still stands. And because they have removed the dietary laws, eating whatever that they want to eat, I have allowed Satan to come in and just um, uh, use people to destroy your food. Your foods are now poison. You were once eating real whole, wholesome food, and now you're eating food like products, and you're feeding it to your children, and your children are dying slowly as well as you. You would die, um, in many times, very uncomfortably because of what your decisions that you have made to remove my law from your life. And to me, that made a lot of sense. Go back to the dietary, because if you really think about it, there's nothing in the law when it comes to food that will hurt you. There's nothing. If you don't eat pork, will that hurt you? Of course not. Of course not. If you eat pork, does it do hurt you? Of course it does. We have been told, for instance, our people were told, when we came over here on slave ships, that's what they gave us. And so what we ended up doing, we made it into a delicacy. When we first came over here on slave ships, we would not eat pork. It was against our laws. And so they forced us. And if you're trying to survive, you pretty much will eat anything. From what I heard, you have people who have, pretty much crashed had plane crashes in deserted places, and what ended up happening, they ended up eating humans. Ooh, gross. So you can't say never. I would never do that. You never know what you might do, and obviously it must have happened because now here, our people are eating things that are an abomination to the Father. You can think of the times like when of the prodigal son. This is a very good example. The prodigal son, was had all the wealth in the world. He squandered it, as it says in the word, and he ended up happening. He was herding pigs and stuff like that. But this man was starving. He said, "I am starving to death. Why am I starving of being around here among the pigs and everything? Let me go back to my father where I can eat, be wealthy, and so forth. Or at least be a slave in his house." And one thing that it struck me is that, like, okay, you had pig around you. How are you starving? Your food was right there. Why? Because it never was food. Even in the starvation mode, this man would not eat a pig. So, yes, we have broken the law of the Father, and we're paying the price for it. And the Father has now used, like corporations and so forth and so on to mess with our food. We now have GMO food. Remember the word, it tells you not to mix the seed. Well, what are they doing with these, I call Frankenstein, the Franken foods that these people are creating, foods that they're mixing the seed. There's nothing new under the sun. So we have broken the dietary laws and we are paying the price for it. But the Father is always very merciful and very kind. And he said, "You return to me," just like the prodigal son returned to his father. "I will heal you. I will heal you." So that's what we're doing. So right now we're going back to eating the foods of the Father. We're trying to buy as many organic foods as possible. As you know, organic foods are very, very expensive. And why? Because the people of these corporations and places like Monsanto are poisoning our food with GMO food. We don't need that type of food. It is poison. The birds won't even eat the seeds. I'm thinking about like corn, for instance. 99.9%, I believe, of the corn here in the United States is GMO corn. So that means your corn flour, your corn chips, your tortillas. You know what I mean? Everything is GMO corn. Yet the birds won't eat it. It won't eat it. I mean. And so if the birds won't eat it, that ought to tell you right there that the food is not good for us either. But we have to eat something. But as you see, there's no corn on the table here. I will not do corn at all. Besides, it's a starch too. Yeah. And also see if you notice that there's nothing white on the table. So there's no potatoes. Is a potato a vegetable? Is a potato good for you? Yeah, of course it is. But to heal, we have to do green juices. We have to get down to the cellular level. So we're green juicing. And if I can't green juice, I will at least eat everything here that is natural. Now, back to the seeds here. The seasoning. The reason why I bought seasonings for this, and I have no idea if what is going to work and what's not going to work, but I just bought a few seasonings. That's why I just bought the little packages. Here, I think I have crushed garlic, crushed oregano. This menudo mix, and it has a lot of sage in it. I'm not sure how sage is going to taste. Black pepper. This is really good black pepper. I think it's a better quality black pepper than in some of the cans that we have. What is this? This is rosemary, and we have cilantro, ground coriander. The reason why I bought those is because I will be mixing it. If I can go to my cabinet over here, right here, if you can see, I have olive oil. I hope this is coming out. I have olive oil, and I also have balsamic vinegar. And I have wine vinegar. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to make my own salad dressings. These are mine. We're throwing this stuff out. Well, I have other people that I live with in the house. So if you can see this really quick. Okay, let's see if we can get that. The ingredients. I'm going to see if I can get a good thing. What do we have here? Vegetable oil, soybean. All this stuff is actually horrible. Canola oil is actually bad for you. Let me see if I can get it better. And then, of course, you see all the stuff that you can't even pronounce. That tells you right there that this is not the best dressing that should be put in. But I believe that anything unnatural should not go into a natural body. Now, do I eat this stuff? Yes, I do. I've eaten it in the past. I've eaten it last week. But we're making changes now, and that's the thing. This is actually I think this actually company. I think one of the better company. The reason I like them is because it's better than many other. They are like Canes. You know what I mean? There's but some of them like the store bought brands or generic brands. Oh my goodness, the poisons that are inside of those foods. And I call them poisons. That's my personal opinion. They're nothing but poison. I mean, you have to think, why in the world are there so many more diseases? And when it comes to health, we're supposed to be the superpower country. Why is it that we have the worst health among even people who are indigenous got better health than we do? Because they eat healthy and we eat not. The Western diet is a diet of poison. It literally is, and we have been programmed into thinking that we got the best foods, and and I mean, don't get me wrong, the foods taste great, but when you're poisoning your body and not eating what it deserves and what it needs, you're coming down with high blood pressure, sicknesses. Oh, let me show you one thing. One thing I have here is actually where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Do I have it anywhere? Where is it? I want to show you my pink salt. No, where'd it go? Ah, there it goes, right here. Yeah, mayonnaise. I'm not using mayonnaise anymore either. And I don't actually don't use Miracle Whip. Like I said, other people live here in the house. But Himalayan pink salt. This salt is what you call real salt. Um, I at one time I was buying sea salt, but from what's happening with Fukushima and all the poisons that are in the oceans and things like that, Himalayan salt from the mountains is actually a better salt, um, with more minerals in it. And so why is that type of salt better than your table salt? Well, your table salt, like this is one of my favorites, which is Lorry's. I love Lorry's seasoned salts. I cannot eat it. That's what is causing my foot to swell. What's in Lorry salt that is causing my foot to swell? Salt. But you just said, Yishi, that you can eat salt. No, this is salt. Table salt, which is inside Lorry salt, and matter of fact, any seasoning pretty much on the market, just about, um, is made with table salt. Table salt is a sodium chloride. They have processed the salt too so much that it has so it pours really nice and everything. But what ends up happening is that it comes to up. It's a point the body does not recognize it, and that is the reason why. Let me see if I can get this clearer again. Oh, let's see. Let's see. It's recording. I can't get it any clearer. Let's see. I don't know how to do this. Well, anyways, it's called each and every and I will eat that with my food. But actually, right now, while I am detoxing, I can no longer even eat that type of salt right now. Not during the detox. I'm trying to regulate my body so the salt will finally, with the juicing and everything, will come back to a balance, and I can eat my pink salt and stay away from things like try to make my own Lorry salt is what I'm going to do because I do love the taste of Lorry salt. It makes it's a fabulous seasoning. It's just that it has regular salt in it. And the makers of Lorry salt, if you ever hear this show, I mean this little video that I'm making, if you can make Lorry salt with Himalayan salt, I will be one of the first people to buy it. I'm telling you because it's really a tasty seasoning. It's just that the salt is poisoning, especially salt is poison to black people because of the way it has been processed down to a sodium chloride, not even just sodium, but sodium chloride. It is actually poisoning the body. Um, Whereas salt is just salt, sodium in its natural form, and that's the way it's supposed to be. So, anyways, yes, and we're getting rid. I'm not doing it. As you see, even in my cabinet, we have some things that have not been thrown out. Like with my vegetables, this is one thing we were doing when we first started. We're buying croutons and stuff like that. But if you can see, look at the list on there. It's nothing. Corns, actually, corn syrups in it, calcium, da 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 da. As I mean, you can't even pronounce the stuff that's in it. Croutons were made at one time. Okay, I don't know, dried bread, dry bread, natural garlic, and the seasons, natural garlic, onions, or whatever you want to taste it. And you threw it right on the bread, natural form. You didn't need all that crap in it. So, anyways, this is my journey. I want you to see me and how big I am. Let me see if I can do this right. Let's see. Sure. I will put this right here. Maybe you can see me. This is me. This is me. As you can see, I'm overweight. Not really, really big, but I'm at an unhealthy weight. I'm 5'8". I used to be 5'10", by the way. This is me, and this is my journey. See you in a week.